Hello, friends. Thanks for having us. I'm Fabio Assolini, Senior Security Researcher on Kaspersky in Brazil. And here with me, my colleague Fabio Marenghi, also from Brazil. We're here to present to you our research called the ghost hand attack. Well, what is all about when we talk about the ghost hand? We will present you in this video our research about malicious rats. They are being used by cybercriminals worldwide to infect mobile devices and to control it, aiming to steal banking credentials, to open financial apps, and to steal money. We know that rats are not a new threat. They have sometimes present on Windows system for a long time, but cybercriminals, they were able to adapt their new rat developments for mobile devices very successfully. And the main goal of these bad guys are to control financial apps and to steal the money. We know that a lot of financial institutions worldwide, they are adopting new technologies such as multi-factor authentication, fingerprinting, facial recognition, and other security measures, but they are useless against these cybercriminals when they have full control over a smartphone. And that's exactly what they are doing. And we saw Brazilian cybercriminals specializing in this kind of malware. They started with Windows malware. We published it 2 years ago about the Tetra umbrella with 4 families of Brazilian malware going international, starting to attack users from financial institutions worldwide, internationalizing their operations. And now that's exactly what they are doing, but in the with mobile threats. So that's what we will present to you today. The ghost hand attack, it's exactly about this. They are active in a global scale, targeting users worldwide. And Tetra are getting bigger. When we published about it 2 years ago, it was only 4 families, but new families were arriving. Today we have Mafaldo, Bizarro, Ponteiro, and other families to come when Brazilian banking Trojans decided to go international. And we were wondering for some time, why not mobile banking? And we have this answer now, because they are already international and expanding other markets in the world. And they are professionalizing their operations, adopting malware as a service. They are recruiting new members or local partners to work with them. And even with an arrest of part of the Tetra gang, in last July, the Spanish police arrested 16 members of the Tetra operation in Europe. But we are sure that it will not be the end because they are operating as a malware as a service, recruiting these partners. And this is not the end. They are ready and they are able to keep their operations, infecting users and stealing money. So that's their target right now, mobile banking. And when we look at this scenario worldwide, think with me, how many financial apps do you have installed on your smartphone? I was surprised in checking my phone. I saw 21 financial apps installed on my personal phone. Not only banking apps, but also investment, cryptocurrency, credit cards, and all things related to my financial life. It's present on my smartphone. So users are heavily using this service, financial services on their smartphones, especially in this pandemic time when we are at home or sometimes in quarantine or with some limitations. A lot of banking branches are closed. So that's why we are using a lot of our financial apps installed on your phone. So this is a good opportunity for cyber criminals, huh? And that's exactly the scenario right now when we saw some news. A lot of countries adopted real-time payment systems, such as in Brazil last November. It was adopted nationally, a new real-time payment system called Pix, and it was a huge success in a short period of time. In only one day, it's registered more than 40 million operations using this new Pix system. It's a huge success. So, of course, cyber criminals are very interested to steal money using these real payment systems. But not only in Brazil, also in Mexico, they have a similar system called SPAY. It's used to do transfers among users. And after the pandemic, the system increased 47% in number of transactions. 67% of all mobile banking operations in Brazil are all on smart devices, on smartphone devices. The thing is, pandemic has changed the way that we do banking worldwide. And also on US, when we saw their statistics for 2025, almost 65% of the American populations will do mobile banking. So this is a good opportunity for cyber criminals to infect smartphone devices and steal your mobile money. That's exactly what they are doing. And to show you this threat, we will present about these three families. The first one is GMOB. GMOB is the Guildma mobile version. And my friend Fabio Marenghi will present to you in details right now.
Yeah, we found GMOB in 2020. It is distributed the same way as the Guildma Windows version. However, if the victim user agent is mobile, the Android malware is delivered. We haven't found it being hosted on the Google Play, and its newest samples we have obtained are now obfuscated. It abuses the accessibility feature, as most Android malwares, to interact with the victim's device and steal credentials. It also features many servers hard-coded into its source code, which it uses to obtain the real C2 server. So when I was analyzing this malware, I set up a honeypot, and I was able to capture the commands the criminal used, and I will reproduce it in this video so we can see from the victim's perspective what happens on the device. So I will install the malware on the device. I use Frida to bypass emulator detection, debugger detection. And as soon as the malware is installed, it sends a notification to the C2 server, notifying with a list of installed financial applications and some device information. I will then give the accessibility permission. We can see the launcher icon. It's going to disappear in a few seconds, but the malware will keep running in background. Okay, it's done. I will turn off the screen and unlock the device. This is so that GMOB can steal the unlocking pattern. It's going to be used to reproduce it later with the command that I'm going to send right now. So what's going to happen is that GMOB will get the real C2 address. And when the victim is away from the device, GMOB will wake it up and start typing the unlocking code. In this case, it's going to start drawing the pattern. Then it will put a black screen overlay, so the victim thinks the device is turned off. It's going to launch the financial application, typing the stolen username and password. And when the black screen overlay is removed, we're going to see it's already logged into the application. So the victim thinks his device is turned off, nothing is happening. But that was not the case. It's already logged into the financial application. Now, one more detail I'm going to show in this video is that if you go to the configuration and find the Google Docs application over there and try to remove it, GitMob protection module won't allow it, bringing the user back to the home screen. Yeah, so here it is. You click on it and it brings back to the home screen.
Yeah, this is GitMob, a very impressive mobile rat that can control user device. It's very, very, very interesting. But GitMob has ways also to bypass security measures adopted by financial apps. And screen lock is not a problem. GitMob has a function to record the screen code or the screen lock password or any locking code or path code. It can record and unlock the device. GitMob also has a very interesting trick that we call black screen overlay to fool the user that thinking that smartphone is turned off, when in fact it's not, it's on. And we saw a similar approach used by malicious iPhone apps when they try to trick the user to purchase a very expensive app. They turn the screen, the black screen, and then the user put the fingerprint, put his finger in the fingerprint reader to unlock the device, but in fact the user is approving the purchase of this very expensive app. And GitMob are using the same trick. We believe they are using it to bypass fingerprint authentication, probably. And also they are able to bypass any multi-factor authentication that financial institutions are using, because they are based on email or SMS codes that we call OTPs sent over email or SMS. And of course, the bad guy can catch them as well, because they have full access to the device. And also some financial institutions are adopting by these days facial recognition authentication using the camera. They ask the user to record their biometric, looking to the right, looking to the left, smiling. And with this, the bank will approve the operation or not. So fraudsters are bypassing it very easily using a WhatsApp video call, exactly on this way. They call the victim presenting himself as a bank employee and informing about a supposed problem in the account. And they ask the user to look to the right, look to the left, smile, and they record this call, and they use this recording to bypass facial recognition systems. That's exactly what they are doing in Brazil. And also we've heard about a very interesting fraud that happened in Brazil. They sent to the house of the victim a very special gift, a package with a lot of perfume. And when they sent to the victim, the delivery man asked the victim to take a photo or to record a video just to register as the package as delivered. And the delivery man did it. And after some days, the victim saw his name used in some fraudulent operations, where to complete it, the fraudsters needed the facial recognition and the fraudsters used that exactly video they took from him and the day that we received the package. So that's the way they are bypassing facial recognition the systems, and they can do it very easily. For them, it's not a problem. Also interesting to see that GitMob has some C2 comments, and Marenghi will say more to us.
Yes, I have reverse engineered all of its comments. I've described them all, but I won't go through all of them, but we've seen in the previous video that he used the comment to create a black screen overlay, but it's also possible to load a remote website in full screen from a web view, for example, with another comment. So the victim will see a website in full screen while the criminal controls the device in the background. We also see the comment 666, which is the one that was used to draw the unlock pattern. Yep.
Yeah, these are the C2 comments from GitMob. And also, when we see the targets of GitMob, it's very widespread. They are not only targeting users in Latin America and South America, but also with most of the apps targeted are in Brazil, more than 100 apps, but they are also targeting users from banks in Peru, in Paraguay, in Portugal, in Germany, but also in Africa. Probably wondering why. Angola and Mozambique, they also speak Portuguese. So that's why these fraudsters were targeting users there. Okay, these were GitMob. And now let's move to the second family, Brata. Brata from Brazil to the world. My friend Marenghi will say a bit more.
Yeah, Brata was the first remote administration Trojan we found in 2019. It is actively developed in Brazil. At the time, it targeted on only Brazilian financial institutions. But this year we found another version that was targeting financial institutions not only in Brazil, but also Mexico. It also attacked some cryptocurrency apps. And the main difference is that Brata always finds its way into Google Play, with over 40,000 installations in this last campaign. And it comes disguised as an updater to WhatsApp, Google Chrome, or some PDF readers or some maintenance tool. And the infection vector we found are push notifications from malicious websites that leads directly to the Google Play link where the victim can install the malware. It's also important to notice that Brata uses a commercial protector named Assolini to protect its code from analysis. And on Google Play, we found two ways that Brata was being distributed. The first one was just some downloader, which would download an external DEX file and load it. The main DEX file would contain the remote administration tool code. And the second way was the full-blown RAT that was available on Google Play. So on the upper left corner, we see part of Brata's configuration file. We see it has support for 3 languages, Portuguese, Spanish, and English. And on the lower left, we see part of its configuration with the web injects containing the app name and the phishing link where the user will type his credentials so the malware can obtain it. This is different from GitMob, which does not use the web injects. And it's also very simple to add new applications to be targeted. When we found it, last time we checked its configuration, there were 12 applications from Brazil, 6 from Mexico, and 1 cryptocurrency app. That's just Brata comments. One of them, one interesting one is that Brata has a VNC functionality, which is also different from GitMob. So Brata can control the device from the victim, and GitMob just steals the credentials using accessibility.
Yeah, that's exactly how Brata works. and also very interesting when we saw detections of Barata globally. It's very widespread as well, not only focused in Brazil, but also in US and Europe. That's the way that this mobile rat works. And it's also widespread worldwide. Okay, now let's move to the 30 family, and it's a new kid on the block. TW Mobile is the newest family that we found of Brazilian rats that expanded worldwide. And TW Mobile, it's not easy to remove. By the moment that we did the analysis, TW Mobile, it's a full rat able to steal credentials for 4 Brazilian banks and one international bank. They are not on Play Store yet, and they are able not only to steal credentials from financial apps, but also from social media apps. This is interesting as well. And as soon as it's installed in the device, the Trojan takes the device admin rights and starts a protection module. So for a regular user, it will be almost impossible to remove it, to install it manually. To do it, the user need to perform the hard reset or to install a very good antivirus product to detect and to remove it. And now also interesting, the tricks used by TW Mobile. When we found their attacks focused in Brazil, they are using the name of the National Telecommunications Agency from Brazilian government, aiming to trick users to install the malicious app in the device. And after install, they can do a full control of the device. Also here, some secure commands of TW Mobile, not something that we can highlight. These are the regular commands normally used by rats on mobile. That's the same with TW Mobile. But the most interesting here is the device admin right and how it's hard for users to remove it. Also, when we saw the detection of TW Mobile worldwide, it's quite widespread, not only detections in Brazil, but also on US and Europe. Probably Brazilians living outside, but we know this family are also prepared to internationalize their operations, adding new members, new affiliates, and adding new targets as well. Okay, let's jump to conclusions. We are living on very interesting times during the pandemic. The growing of mobile banking is incredible in a lot of countries. Mobile banking is booming. A lot of countries are adopting new real-time payment system. And this is a gold opportunities for cyber criminals. And we are sure that threats like this will be more common. Also interesting to see Brazilian cyber criminals, they are internationalizing all their operations, recruiting new affiliates, adopting malware as a service. And we know that their model are the organized cybercrime from Eastern Europe. They started as customers and quickly they are copying their tactics and adopting the same business model to operate. And we also know that for financial institutions, this is quite a challenge to identify a fraudulent operation because everything is carried out on the victim's device, and this can be hard to identify because the fraudster can follow the same pattern or the same behavior of the victim infected, doing fraudulent transactions in the average amount that is quite normal for a user. They can do it when they enter the financial app. And also we saw protection technologies adopted by banks, biometric authentication, facial recognition, multi-factor authentication. All of them can be bypassed when the cybercriminal do a remote access. Also, we saw as a problematic when financial institutions send the OTPs via SMS or email, and both can be controlled by the bad guy as well. They can capture all the OTPs and bypass all these multi-factor authentication processes. And we believe as a security researchers that the best protection nowadays is for users to adopt an anti-malware solutions in their devices to protect against this threat. And an overview, we saw Brazilian malware distributed worldwide with the families that we know and that we are monitoring these days. As you can see here in the map, not only Latin America, but also in Europe or North America and Africa. These families, they are ready to target users in other countries, in other languages. They are heavily modular, so they can recruit new affiliates, add new modules, and start to target new banks and new victims as well. So these are the families that we are monitoring right now. And when we saw here description, a summary of these families, we can see that they move it from Windows computers to mobile devices right now, with new families popping up because they are very active, and for sure they are international threat. Now, we believe financial institutions must keep an eye on these families because they are very, very active. That's it, my friends. Thank you for your attention. If you want to see more technical details about such families, today there is an article on our website, securitylist.com, with all the hashes, TTPs, and so on about these families. You can check there these details. Thank you very much.